Greetings and salutations, comrades. Hope this finds you well. So I found this article on Independent Left News. Definitely check them out. They're a great resource clearinghouse, putting together all of these, great stories from a, independent left view. So definitely check them out. And this one, some common dreams. Joe, share my screen here in a second. The title is Exposed: How Pfizer Exploits Secretive Vaccine Contracts to Strong on Governments. And one thing is for sure about this pandemic, at least in the context of the United States, is these pharmaceutical companies have been able to amass, massive amounts of money because, again, pharmaceutical companies, healthcare industry in the United States is run for profit. Which again is probably, frankly, one of the reasons these vaccines are being pushed so hard in the United States, including potentially even the mandates, is because, big pharma has, generated, billions, tens of billions, probably even hundreds of billions of dollars of wealth through, this push for, the vaccines, right? Oh, why is it not working? Is it working? Let's see. Fucking internet is going extremely slow. There we go. It's just taking forever. Here we go. So I'll link this down below. This is from Common Dreams, Jessica Corbett. God damn, this thing is scrolling slow as a fucker. Here we go. Pfizer has used its position as a producer of one of the leading COVID-19 vaccines to silence governments, throttle supply, shift risk, and maximize profits through secret contracts with countries around the world, according to Public Citizen report published Tuesday. Behind closed doors, Pfizer wields its power to extract a series of concerning concessions from governments, report author Zain Rizvi, a law and policy researcher at Public Citizen's Access to Medicine program, said in a statement. The global community cannot allow pharmaceutical corporations to keep calling. But again, that's the whole problem. They're corporations. They need to be nationalized and run for the public good, not for profit. Again, this is another problem of a capitalist system. All of these industries that should actually be ran for the good of the public, for the good of the masses, are ran for the good of the capitalist class at the top, for the CEOs, the board of directors, the shareholders, etc. So I'll link this down below. Don't have time to go over all of it, but it's definitely worth a read for sure. We found Pfizer asked some countries to put up sovereign assets as a guarantee against the cost of any future legal case. I mean, Jesus Christ. Pfizer reserves the right to silence governments. The Brazilian government complained earlier this year that the company insisted on unfair and abusive terms, but ultimately accepted a contract that waived sovereign immunity, imposed no penalties on Pfizer for late deliveries, agreed to resolve disputes under secret private arbitration under the laws of New York, and broadly indemnified Pfizer for civil claims. So basically giving them, the right to do anything, including, shipping these vaccines late, and allowing these governments no type of recourse at all. It's fucking disgusting. Pfizer controls donations. Again, using Brazil as an example, the report points out that South American nation must first get a go-ahead from Pfizer to accept donations or buy its vaccine. Think about how fucked up that is and the hugely disastrous consequences that would have. Like, Pfizer has the control of whether, in this case, Brazil would be able to get vaccines or donations from other countries, let's say, China or Cuba as one example. I mean, Jesus Christ. Countries also barred from donating, disrupting, exporting, otherwise transporting vaccine outside of Brazil without Pfizer's permission. Pfizer secured an IP waiver for itself. Pfizer seems to recognize the risk posed by intellectual property, vaccinate, develop. I mean, Jesus Christ. So they want to keep it for themselves because, again, it's about making money. It's not actually about helping people. It's not about public health. It's about making as much money as possible. Private arbitrators, not public courts, decide disputes in secret, while the UK contract requires that disputes are settled by a secret panel of 3 private arbitrators under the rules of arbitration of the International Chamber of Commerce. The report says the Albania draft contract in Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Dominican Republic, and Peru agreements require the governments to go further with contractual disputes subject to the ICC arbitration applying New York law. Look at this. Pfizer can go after state assets. Pfizer required Brazil, Chile, Colombia, the DR, and Peru to waive sovereign immunity The report highlights detailing that the doctrine can sometimes protect states and companies trying to enforce decisions reached by the previously noted secret arbitral panel. Some of the contracts enable company requests that courts use state assets as a guarantee that Pfizer would be paid an arbitral award and or use assets to compensate Pfizer if the government does not. I mean, so disgusting. Pfizer calls the shots and key decisions, and this, all those other steps just kind of highlight that, right? What happens if there are vaccine supply shortages? Pfizer will decide adjustments to delivery schedule based on principles the corporation will decide. Again, how one-sided. It's all about protecting Pfizer's corporate interest, making as much money as possible. And again, this is just another industry that needs to be nationalized and run for the public good and not run for profit, right? Hugely problematic on so many levels. But again, it's just capitalism is the virus, socialism, and eventually communism is the cure. This type of shit will just continue to keep happening, right? Capitalism is the virus. Like the video if you like the damn video, subscribe for my content, all part of the people. Shout out to the 2 Uber comrades supporting my channel, this content Patreon, my partner, and independent news, which is where I found this story. Peace, much love.